kind of expanding upon Wemby and Stephon Castle, aka the new nickname Area 51, which I love, by the way, they gave last year. Wemby's currently sidelined with the left calf strain, expected to miss several weeks. And I think, like I said, Stephon Castle's out at least up to 2 weeks with left hip flexor strain, as well too. So they're still on a two-game win streak without those guys. De'Aaron Fox looks like he's been playing all right, and players like Keldon Johnson's been stepping up. But it's crazy how their last three first-round lottery picks all are hurt right now. Spurs, obviously, like we said, one of those exciting teams. In addition to the Detroit Pistons, they're 10-4 right now, fifth in the East. Do you think they can stay afloat? And what are your thoughts on the injuries in general?
I mean, they're in the West, so it is going to be tough. The East is I saw something where people were kind of like, attacking the Pistons win streak. Um, which of course, that's just what haters gonna do. But it's like you got to play a schedule that's in front of you, and the East is just kind of weak right now. It's not their fault that some of these teams suck. But the West, I feel like is a little bit different. I feel like those top eight teams in the West right now are pretty strong. So, they at least have Fox, which is a really good stabilizer, and they have a lot of their other rotation pieces. It's kind of just like the two guards and Castle and Harper and Wemby.
Mhm.
So I think they might be able to win a couple of games, but this is probably going to be a season defining stretch. I feel like because this could
Mhm.
really set them back if they let it. And I also don't like the idea of Wemby having to do a bunch of extra lifting to try and get them out of some hole. Especially just because at this point he hasn't shown the durability. He's still too young for me to, like last year was a blood clot, so I'm not going to say that he's injury prone, but I just don't want to be putting a whole lot of pressure on him right now as he's still trying to, just it still feels like when I say find his footing in the league, I mean just in terms of like consistency. Of course, he's already one of the premier players, but um, yeah, so I think that they can at least be a near 500 team, which with the start they've been off to should be good enough.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. They got somewhat of a wiggle room to an extent, at least with the top eight seeds right now. Like I said, they're at number five. And like you kind of called out when we talked about our takeaways from the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, there's a lot of teams who are shitty already early. So I feel like from what I've even seen the last two games, like even without their two best other two top players, two-way players as well too, it seems like they still have somewhat of an identity. So just take care of the games you should take care of and beat up on these teams. And it's 50-50 with these other teams as well, too. I think they do have a tough schedule coming up. I think they play like OKC twice and like another playoff team. So that would be an interesting matchup as well, too. But um, yeah, it's just tough, man. And what I really wanted to talk about and steer in this direction is like it obviously like he's your top asset, right? Like that is your top asset move for both of those guys. I mean, and Dylan Harper, there's a reason why they were in the lottery and they were so high, drafted wise as well too. But it's just like, damn, yo, like obviously with the calf, like that's something serious, and the calf, as we know, leads to an Achilles. So you want to be patient with that. But it's just making me think, even when you said like with the blood clot, and me was texting like this could be another year. If he misses a couple more or X amount of games, he may not get Defensive Player of the Year again, and he may not get All NBA selection. So I want to ask you, like, you think they should like go away from the amount of games played or reduction of games? Like, what do you think they should do?
I think they should. I think, everyone always approaches the 82 game schedule, and I think that is just really tough. I don't think that the league wants to do that, especially just with the historical precedent as well. It's going to become even harder to compare stats across eras and total points and total all that type of stuff. Um, and also just from a money standpoint, like, the less games is less money for them. So I don't think that that's going to be where it is, but I think that lowering that threshold from 65, even just to 60, I think would be nice, giving a little bit more cushion to some of the players because I do get them putting a threshold in because what was it? Embiid only played like 50 something games or whatever and was winning awards and stuff like that. And it's like, availability should matter. Um, Especially for the players who are like, if I'm out here playing 82 games and playing excellent night in and night out, that should matter. So I think that the best thing would probably be just to kind of like lower that with the expectation of like players are going to be missing more games. But yeah, it's a tough situation because this just happened. So we in terms of this limit, so we've never seen players who of his ilk be denied certain awards. And of course, the All-Star is, something they can't put any type of limit on because it's a mid-season thing. So I think he's gonna have hella All-Stars regardless of if he's injured or not. But yeah, it'll be weird. Say he misses out on the threshold this year and some reason misses out on the threshold next year, having a guy who everyone has is the consensus best defender and then a top five player, and he has no awards to show for it. But also, something that I saw someone bring up is that actually could end up being a blessing in disguise for the Spurs because a lot of the contract extensions prevalent in the league right now are based on the awards. Yeah, so like you're only eligible for Supermax if you have a certain amount of awards and stuff like that. So it's not even like they literally would be limited on how much money they could give him. So that might end up being something where it's like, okay, like now we're able to do this and that because we gave you the most money we could. We couldn't give you any more because you weren't able to get some of these awards. So just something where it could be spun in a positive way.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm thinking of awards right now, and obviously we're about to talk about Braun soon, but he missed 14 games already. He just came back. So I think what is 65 games? So
Yeah,
right
he
now
has a
he'll be
very
eligible to play
small,
like 67 more games. So
yeah.
he can only miss like three more games to be considered all NBA, which is crazy.
And
But
I don't think he's worried about it. I don't think he's going to be eligible for any of the teams this year. Honestly, I highly doubt that the plan is to have him play every single game the rest of the year.